Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back. And today we are going to talk about some other things that I like to take when I go kayak fishing other than just fishing gear. So stay tuned, we're going to dive right in and hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Hey everybody, welcome back. And first I want to say sorry for not putting out a video last week. I just had a lot of stuff going on and I just didn't get time to really shoot one because there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. And I was just taking care of some stuff. And I kind of just decided to take a break. And so I'm back. And I think we got a pretty good video for you guys today. Today I want to talk about other gear that you should probably think about taking when you go fishing, whether you're kayak fishing, bank fishing, or whatever you're doing. This is stuff that you can just pitch in your tackle bag along with the rest of your stuff, or you can have a small little pack that you want to take with. And basically it's some basic utility gear and even a little bit of survival gear, because things happen out on the water, and you never know when things are going to take a turn for the worse. People's boats sinks, guys flip their kayaks. I mean, all kinds of stuff happens. Me personally, I've flipped 2 kayaks. I was fortunate enough to have people around there to help me, but it's still a scary experience, especially when you lose everything, or almost everything. And so the reason why I decided to make this video is just talk about a few things that I like to take with me that I make sure that are battened down, that if everything else falls out of my boat, I'm still going to have this stuff, especially if I'm by myself fishing and I'm far away from a ramp and I can't get back there and something happens. I at least have some of this stuff with me to help me get through until somebody can help me or I can get back to safety. So one of the first things I'll say right out the bat is you always have some snacks or some food or granola bars or trail mix or something of that nature to eat. Food is good and food will keep you alive, because the 2 main things you need to stay alive is food and water. So I always bring some sort of snacks or some sort of food when I go fishing. I bring a lot of trail mix type stuff or granola bars or cheese, crackers, anything like that, celery sticks, even some candy bars just for energy. And I tend to pack that all in a little cooler. And I usually throw that on my kayak or on my boat, and I have it with me. And I usually have that secured, so if I do flip my kayak or something happens, it's not going to go floating down the river, because I made the mistake on one of my trips. I actually had a cooler on there, a bigger cooler, and I flipped my kayak and I didn't secure the latches on the cooler, and everything that was in the cooler went into the lake, and that was the end of that. So and I lost a few other things. And so the first main thing you want to talk about is it's always good to bring some sort of snacks or something. Even if you're going bank fishing, just pack some candy bars, Snicker bars, something that you can have that's, lightweight and easy to carry, and just have something there to munch on, because I always get hungry when I'm out fishing, especially when I'm out there for a long day, So that's one thing I'll say that you should have off the bat. But the other thing I'm going to show you guys is I take a day pack. And this day pack literally basically lives in my truck. It comes and goes with me as I get in and out of my truck, and it goes with me when I go places all the time. I always have a day pack. And if you're wondering what a day pack is, this is a day pack. Alright? This is a military day pack that I've had ever since I was in the military. This actually is a Camelback, so it actually has a water source on it as well. It's got a bladder inside of it, and that's the one thing I really like about it, because I can put, I forget, takes almost 2 liters of water in there. So that's pretty good bit of water. I think it's actually more than that. I think it's 3 liters, 2 or 3. Anyway, it's a good chunk of water to have in there. And what I like to do with that, with my bladder, is I like to put ice in it in the bottom and then put water in it. And if I put a bunch of ice in there and then put water in it, it'll stay cold all day. And that's what I used to do in the military, and that's still what I do with this pack. And then this pack has different little things on it. You guys can see I have a little axe on it and stuff. That's actually a saw and stuff. And I take this thing, and this thing, it either gets thrown on my boat, or hooked up on the boat, or if it's on the kayak, I just throw it in the front hatch, the secured hatch. So I have it on the kayak, and it really just pops right in there with the rest of my stuff. It doesn't take up a whole lot of room, and it's got all my little things that I think I'll need just in case there's an emergency or something. You know, in this pack, I actually have there's rope in here, there's lights in here, there's scissors in here, there's pliers in here, there's a compass in here. There's emergency blankets in there. There's Band-Aids, some medical supplies, and all kinds of different little things that I have in there. So we're going to go through some of the things that I take with me. We're not necessarily going to go through this whole pack that I have, because that could be a whole other video. But I want to go through some basic things that you should probably just think about when you're going on these trips, especially if you're kayak fishing. If you guys are floating the river for a few days, I've got some things that you'll probably really like that helps you save on weight and stuff, but it can still help you do your trip. So let's dive into one of the first things you should always have. I don't care what you're doing, and when you're out there, is a good knife. You should always have a good knife, whether you're carrying the ones that clip on your vest for your fishing knife and stuff. I like those, but I also like one that's got a point on it. I also like one that I can actually use as a fire starter as well. But I always carry probably a minimum of 3 knives on me. I usually have 2 on me and then 1 on the boat somewhere. So I usually have at least 3 knives with me at all times. And I'm kind of showing you some different ones. Some of the main ones that I like to carry, that I carry pretty much every day. You guys can carry one like this, and this actually is going to jump into something else. This is actually made by Buck, and this one actually has got a nice Kydex sheath. You can rotate the back of it, so you can make it sit however you prefer, straight down, sideways, whatever. It locks in there really good, and it comes with a fire starter and a whistle on it. So you've got multiple things. You got an emergency whistle right here that is built into the fire starter, and the fire starter is actually locked into place right here as well. And when you unhook it, and I unhook that little rope right there, and you can pull it out. So you got that. You got a whistle. So you got an emergency whistle to call people. And I really love this knife. It's an amazingly sharp knife. It stays sharp, and it also has a built-in striker on it. If you look at that curve right there, there's a built-in striker. So when you're striking your striker, you just go, and that strikes it. So this is basically a good all-in-one tool. These are not very expensive. They're about 69 bucks. And I love this knife. It's an everyday carry for me. I have 2 versions of this. This is a big version, and then I have another smaller version right here, which I made a custom sheath for. This one does not come with the striker, the smaller version. It comes with a Kydex sheath, but I didn't want that. I wanted a back kind of side angle leather sheath, so I custom made this one myself. And this is a great knife. It has the same striker on it and stuff. So I usually am carrying both of these. And just to show you the difference in size, so you can see the difference in the size of these blades. That kind of shows you. Maybe this will help. Maybe so you guys can see the difference in the blade sizes. This one, this bigger one, that's about as big as I would ever carry. That's about the biggest knife I was ever carrying. It's still not super huge. But this size right here is probably my favorite size. So just so you can compare the differences. I'm trying to give you guys a good comparison to kind of seeing the size differences of these blades. I love both of these knives. They're my everyday carries, and they're great blades, and you can't go wrong with them. But if you don't want to carry something like that, like a straight blade, you can always carry a folding knife. Now, there's a few folding knives I've found over the years that I really, really like. And they're ones that I like to carry as well. I'm going to show you this one. I found this one a long time ago, and I can't even find these anymore. But it has a snifty little clip on the back. It's got your little blade on it. This is a great little knife for in your PFD. If you got a Chinook vest, just drop it in your pocket, or you can clip it on. It's also got a back clip on the back as well, so you can clip it on your pants or clip it onto whatever else you want. But I love the little hook blade on it. This thing is super sharp. This is, I don't even remember who makes this. I think it's a knockoff. It says Maxim. Maxim makes that, but I haven't been able to find these again in many, many years. I had bought several, and then I ended up giving some away because I would, just as presents and stuff. I had planned on keeping them, and this is the last one I have, and I just kept this one because I really like it. It's a good, handy little knife. It's not too big, not too small. Works great for everything, especially when you're on the boat. It's just a great little knife, and it's a good little folder. There are other companies out there that make ones like this, so I'm sure you can find one. But it's a great little knife, great little folder, and I recommend them. And then my other two favorites, and these are ones I've had ever since I joined the Army, many years ago, and they are still in excellent shape. And other than wearing a hole in the sheath that it comes in, because these come in a nice sheath that you can carry this way or this way. It hooks on your belt sideways. It's got these Velcro straps there and a snap. And that right there, that hole got worn from wearing my combat vest, rubbing on it the whole time I had it in Iraq. So, but I have two different colors, and these knives are made by K-Bar, and they're folding knives. So this is the tan folder, and this is the green folder. And these things flip out locking blades. Got a serrated blade, nice point on it. These are super awesome knives. These are also everyday carriers for me. Just depends on what I feel like carrying that day. And I carry these all the time. I love these knives, just so you can see them both. They are K-bars though, so they're not super cheap, but they're well worth the money. This is the one I carried all the time in Iraq. This one I actually left in my pack back at my where my gear was at my fob. But this one I carried every day in Iraq, and it has been through the shit and back a few times, and it's still solid as can be and just held up amazingly. You can't go wrong with K-bar stuff. I love it, and just great knives. And I used to keep I had this on my back for a while, and then I hooked it on my vest, started here for a while. There's so many different things you can do with the sheaths that you can just figure it out. After it started rubbing a hole in it like that, I switched it to the front of my vest. Just because I didn't want to end up losing my knife. So, but you can see they got these nice snaps. This is a snap and Velcro. So it's got a snap plus Velcro. It'll run through your belt. It also has a place where you can run through your belt this way if you want to. Just a gazillion different ways you can hook it on your molly gear. Hook it on. And they're phenomenal knives. And I love them to death. And they have served me well for many years. Many years. Because I went back in the Army, and when I got these, I bought these in 2008. So I've had them for 11 years now. What is that? Yeah, 2008, 10, that's 12, 13 years now? 13 years. These knives still going strong, and I use them every day. So, K-Bar. K-Bar's a good knife. But to get back to the striker thing, if you guys don't want to buy a knife with a striker on it, like I showed you with this guy right here, then you can just get a striker that comes with the striking mechanism as is, and it comes with it on a little string, and these are readily available for like 12 to 20 bucks or more, depending on what company you go with. But these are for starting fires. If you guys flip over and you're on a trip, or you're out somewhere and you can't make it back to a ramp, and you're stuck out at night and you just fell in the water and you're cold and stuff, this bad boy right here, gonna get a fire started, be able to thaw yourself out, get yourself warm. These are worth their weight in gold, and it's very small. I mean, just fits in the palm of your hand. This is gonna save your butt. So I always recommend having one of these. You should always make yourself, you guys should be making yourself a little mini kind of survival kit that should be on your boat, and mini emergency kit, let's say that should be on your boat or your kayak anyway. I mean, you shouldn't be out there doing this stuff without it, because stuff happens, and I've had it happen to me, so I've been thankful for the things that I bring. I'm just giving you guys a few ideas of what I carry with me. So those are some basic essential things, and then a couple of the other things I want to show you. One of the things we talk about, you should always have rope. 550 cord. That's the best dang kind of rope you get. It's not too big. It's not huge. It doesn't have to be super thick, but it's super strong. I've taken this rope right here and towed guys on freaking 500-600 pound snowmobiles with 2 people on the back, and hooked it up to my snowmobile and towed them back off the mountain in Wyoming. 550 cord will get it done. This will do so many things for you. You can buy these little packs like this. They're super small. You can see it fits in my hand, but there's a ton of rope in there, and this will save your butt, I promise you. It comes in handy for so many things. Tow and tying, building a shelter. I mean, you know, if you lose all your rods and reels, you still need to figure out a way to make some line to fish. This is the way to do it, because there's actually a line within this line that you can pull out if you need smaller pieces to run and create things and stuff. 550 cord will save your butt. Now, I will tell you, you guys see those stupid survival bracelets that look like, I'm going to show you, that are like this and have a little compass on them. This actually has a fish hook on it. I made this one myself. And they say, oh, you know, you buy this and that gives you enough rope and that'll help you out and stuff. There is not enough rope on this bracelet to do jack dick, okay? I used to make these guys for my buddies in the military, and we used to make them. The way these bracelets came about, just so you understand, before they ever become some popular thing that they were selling in the stores, us military guys used to make these things and make them for our squads or our platoons. And then it was a way for us to honor the men and women that were serving, to honor our brothers and sisters that we served with, and to also honor the ones that died fighting for this country. That's why we started wearing these, okay? So you need to understand, this thing was about honor. It wasn't about survival. We didn't make these things and so we could have a little bit of rope so we could survive doing something. The people that are out there marketing this as a survival tool are full of crap, okay? There's not enough rope on here to do dick with. Alright, you're lucky that you probably have maybe 2 feet, probably about 2 foot of rope to make this thing. Okay, 2 foot of rope isn't going to do a whole lot for you. Okay, so don't buy one of these things, oh, I got rope because I got this bracelet, because that's the dumbest thing in the world. These things were made, us guys in the military made them. I made them for my buddies that I deployed with, and it was to honor my buddies that I was deploying with and to honor those that fell and died for fighting in this war, so we would remember them. And that is why I wear one and stuff. And I put the fish hook in it as a symbol for me, because the fishing is what has helped me with my PTSD. And so that's a part of me now, and so that's why I incorporated the fish hook in my bracelet. Okay? But this is not a survival tool. It's not going to do you dick a good. So don't think that that's going to be something, and don't go off and buy one of these things just because they're like, oh, this is a great way to have a little bit of rope. That's the dumbest crap I ever heard in my life. So you can get a pack of these. They sell these at Walmart. These little packs like this, you can buy at Walmart. You can buy at craft stores. You can order these online. They're not expensive, and one of these right here is all you need. It fits in a small little pack, and it will come in handy, I promise, if you're in an emergency situation. So rope is an important thing. The other thing that we don't talk about is that water sources. You know, when I go fishing, I take a cooler full of water. I like to fill it up and stuff. But like I said, I flipped my kayak once, and I lost all my water. And if I hadn't had help and people to help me and get my kayak turned over and get me back oriented and stuff, I could have been in a really bad spot. And I would have had no water, and I was exhausted by the time I got back on my kayak and got it flipped over. And I needed a water source. Unfortunately, they had some water, and they gave me some water. But I needed another water source. And so I learned from that, and I learned that I found a thing that's actually super cool. And this is something that I've done a lot of research on, and these work really great. They're called life straws. This is a very simple way to filter any kind of water. It can be the muddiest, dirtiest water that you've ever seen. These things are look how, it's not that big in my hand. See how it is? 2 hands, that's 2 hands over it. So it's about 2 hands long. You know, I don't have super big hands. But these life straws are awesome. And all you do is pop this little top off here. You open up your cap there, and you start sucking water. And there's a filter in there that'll filter that water out, so you can drink lake water, river water. You can. They've actually sit there and dirty, nasty brown water. They can filter it out, and it makes it into clear water. And this will save your butt, especially if you guys. And if you look right there, there's a drawing showing you how to do it, and it tells you how to do it. So it's pretty much idiot proof. You just open the tops and start sucking in water, and then when you're done, after you're done, you want to suck a little water and then blow it back out to blow the filter back out to keep it clean, so it lasts longer. But these things will last a long time, and this could be a lifesaver to you in a situation where you lost all your water and you need to hydrate. These things are awesome. If you guys are doing long floats or long hiking trips, things like that, and you can't carry as much water, this life straw is the way to go. Now, life straw also makes a little carry bottle that filters, so you can actually scoop the water and put it in the bottle and then suck it out, and so you can carry it with you and pour it. They also make a bigger portable thing if you're doing a campsite, which is this right here. And this is called the Life Straw family, and I'm not going to open this up, but you can see what it looks like right here. This right here, this thing, if you guys want to carry something a little bit bigger, I mean, this is a little big and bulky. It's not something I'm going to carry on my kayak. I could put it on a boat though. But this thing right here will filter enough water for a family of 5 for 3 years. So yeah. But these things you can find anywhere from around $75 up to about $150 depending on who's selling it. This thing's awesome, but it's a little big and bulky, but I just want to show you that just because, hey, there's a bigger system. But these life straws, for you guys that are out kayaking for the day or out fishing for the day, even if you're on a bass boat or something, and you need some sort of water source because you lost water, you ran out of water while you're out there fishing, these little life straws are a lifesaver. So I highly recommend one of these. It's small and compact for kayakers, so you can put it on your boat, you can put it in a little emergency kit, and you're good. Well, the battery died on the camera, but anyway, as we were saying about the life straw, this thing can end up saving your life. So I highly recommend getting one of these. Walmart has started selling these. They're $17.99 at Walmart. You can find a 2-pack on Amazon. I forget what they cost, but Amazon has them. I think single ones are anywhere from $15.99 to $19.99, but you can find these for anywhere from $15.99 to about 20 bucks. Well worth it. I have tons of these. I have them in everything, vehicle, on kayaks, on my boat, you name it. I've got one of these things rolling with me. Can't go wrong with that. So that's just a water source opportunity for you to have there, so you got it and stuff. Okay, so one other thing I want to talk about as well is radios. Radios are important and can definitely save your butt as well, no matter what you're out doing. Here I have 2 different types of radios. We're going to talk about those really quickly and briefly. There's tons of radios out on the market. You need to do your research and figure out what is best for you and what's going to work for you. This first radio is a Motorola handheld. I've used Motorola handhelds for years. These are just 2-way radios. This actually is a little bit more beefed up one because this does GMRS as well as FRMS or whatever it's called. FRMS, yeah. FRMS or FMS. I can't remember. Anyway, it does GMRS, which is something that you actually have to have a license to use on them. It's more powerful frequencies, and you can actually get on like ham radio stuff and everything like that. So I like this one. I actually have my license for running GRMS and doing ham radio stuff. So these are great radios. They got good range, and these are actually waterproof. To a certain point, or water resistant, I should say, to a certain point. So if you drop in the water, it's probably going to be okay. If you get it splashed on and stuff, now that's only if you get it out of the water quick. If it ends up getting in the water for a long time, it's probably going to get it damaged. They do make sealed waterproof radios, but after reading some reviews on some of those, I decided to go with one that's very water resistant, that can get rained on and things like that, and can get wet and will be okay. And this is the one I chose. These are the Motorola Talkabouts. I forget what version this is, but there's tons of different ones. Just read the reviews. You can find these on Amazon, eBay. You can find them at different places like Bass Pro, Field & Stream, stuff like that. Just do your research on your radios, see what you like. So I really like these radios. This is a good everyday radio. And I'm going to tell you what I do with these radios in a minute. But the other ones that I have, these are the Baofeng. This is a Baofeng. And this is actually a ham radio. This is a handheld ham radio that you can program your GRMS, your FRS frequencies in. You can program your ham radio frequencies in, and this thing has some massive range on it. I have the extended antenna on it, which gives me more range. I also have the clip mic on it, so I can actually have this in there and have this just clipped onto me, and I can talk without having to grab the radio itself, which is nice. I do that a lot when I'm out bank fishing and doing things like that. I like this a lot because it's just clipped right here and I just squeeze it and talk. These things are amazing. Let me show you this. These are great radios, but this radio, to use it and not get in trouble, you really need to get your GRMS license to use it. Yes, you can program the family radio frequencies, the FRS services in it, or FRMS services. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, you guys can research it and figure it out. But you need the basic frequencies that most people use on your 2-way talk radios are family frequencies, and those you don't need licenses for. But once you get the GRMS, God, I can't say it, the GRMS stuff, you do need a license for it, and you do need a license for ham radio operation. It's stuff that you can buy a book and you can take the test online and get your license. That's what I did. But you need to make sure that you do that, because you could end up operating on frequencies that the FCC can end up coming and finding you big time for, which has happened to people and stuff. These are great radios. If you just get it and program the frequencies in, the FRS frequencies, or FRM, it's FRS frequencies. I think it's FRS frequencies, the family services frequencies, the family regulated service frequencies, whatever you want to call it. You'll be fine. And I have all those programmed in it, and that's what I use most of the time when I'm just doing normal fishing stuff and things like that. I usually do that. But if you're with somebody that has their GRMS license, then, or the GMRS, I can't remember, GRMS or GMRS, I forget what the acronyms are for it. If you do have somebody that has the license for that, then you can use the radios that they're using and you're fine. But you can't program these just with the standard frequencies. You have to look those up online. There's websites you can go to that'll tell you what those frequencies are, so you can program in. So I programmed a bunch of the standard ones in there, and then I have my other frequencies programmed as well. This takes a lot more knowledge to use and is a lot more complicated to use than one of these. So if you guys have a hard time understanding how to program radios and to program them, this probably is not the one you want to get. These are very easy to program and do stuff, and basically just very simple to use. This is a lot more complicated. This is like programming my military radios, the way this thing works. There's a whole bunch of stuff you got to put in there and do to program each frequency that you need in there. But these are great radios. They're not expensive. You can buy these. You can buy, I think, a 2-pack of these for around $60. You know, they're super great radios. The batteries last a long time, and they're pretty durable. I will say that you got to be careful with the clips. I bought the extended batteries for these, and for some reason when you push it in there to lock it, even when I held it, it broke the little clip off that locks it in place. It doesn't do it to the ones that it comes with, but it did break the clips on my extended batteries. It broke it on all of them, and the 2 that I have of these, they broke all the clips, so I don't actually use my extended batteries. But if you're wondering why I have the little hair tie thing around it, that's just a precautionary measure, just in case that clip does break. That hair tie holds the battery in place and the radio still works. So just a little radio hack for these things. So be mindful of that, because I've had that happen, and both radios did it. I bought 4 bigger batteries for these things and put them in there, and you should be able to just push it in and clip. And what I did is I pushed it in, and when the clip pinches down on it, it pinches down so hard it stops. Now, if you hold the clip in place and pushed it in there and then let it down, it worked for a little while, but even then it ended up snapping the clips off of those extended batteries, which kind of made me mad, because those extended batteries, the bigger batteries, are not cheap. So I'm just running the regular battery that came in it, but they're still good radios, and they will serve you well. And these work a lot longer distances, and when you're in more mountainy terrain and stuff, you'll get better signal on these than these. But these aren't waterproof. Alright, these things get wet, you're probably screwed. So just keep that in mind. I mean, they do really well, but you gotta protect these more. These can deal with a little bit more wetness than these can. So just keep that in mind when you're using these. It's not that these can't get rained on, because they have, and they still work, but you just need to keep that in mind. I keep these a little bit more protected than I keep this. So, but I'll tell you why I carry radios. So the multiple reasons why you carry radios. Number one, if you're fishing with multiple people on the river, this is a good way to stay in contact and stay in touch with people, especially if you guys spread out a little bit. If somebody's having a problem, or there's an issue, or there's an emergency, you guys can call each other on the radios. You know what's going on, especially when you're doing a float with multiple people and you've got 4, 5, 6 people or more on the river. This is a great way for you guys to chat, keep in touch. If somebody needs help landing a fish or gets snagged up, or there's an issue, they can call you on the radio. You can come help them. These are just great for that when you're doing group things. Even if you're out fishing on a boat and stuff, this is a great way to stay in touch with people that stayed back that are on land, or if you're fishing with other people that are out on boats and you got a group of people and you're all out on different boats, this is a good way to stay in touch just in case somebody has an emergency. Now for me, I also take these, and I take 2 radios, and what I do is I leave one in my truck, because I go fishing by myself a lot. I leave one in my truck and I take one with me, and that way, if there's a problem and something happens to me and people find my truck, you know, they can get into my truck and they can get that radio that's in there, and they can try to contact me and find out where I'm at, because I don't have the radio turned on when I'm carrying it with me unless there's an emergency. Now, if I end up in an emergency situation, Then I'll turn my radio on, and then I'll hope that somebody will find my truck and be able to get into my vehicle, and they can get that radio and they can call me. And that's part of my emergency plan. When I tell people where I'm going, they know that there's a radio in my truck. So they know where to go, so they know what ramp I was at, they know where to go, they know to get into my truck, and there's a radio in there that they can try to call me on. And it's just another emergency step that you can do to be safe. So radios, you can't ever go wrong with having radios, especially in group situations. These radios all have clips on the back as well. Radios, I mean, just I don't know what else to say about that. Radios are important. If you don't have some, I definitely recommend you getting them. They work great. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can just use my cell phone, Well, I don't want to have to use my cell phone. I don't want to have to worry about dropping my cell phone in the water and things like that. My cell phone's attached to the thing, and trying to dial somebody's number every time I want to call them and stuff and them answer it. This is a quick push a button. Do it. These also have voice activated talks on them to where you don't even have to push a button. All you got to do is speak into it and it'll send the message. So it has a little emergency button that you can push, and you hit it and it makes a ringing sound to the other radios that are out there, and they can call back to you as well. So handheld radios go a long way out there when you're doing stuff, especially when you're fishing with other people. You can track each other, and it's a great way just to stay safe. And it's a great way to keep yourself safe as well. Now, the other thing I have that I take with me is a little hatchet like you guys saw. I carry this little SOG. It's really small, but it's really compact, so it's something that's easy to have with me. And I carry it on my day pack, so that's something I have. That's not something you really need to have, but I'll just throw it in there that I have that just in case I need to chop some wood to build a fire because I fell in the lake and lost everything. So that's always with me as well. So that's something I carry with me, but you can make do with your knife and stuff. Now let's talk other survival thing that a lot of people don't think about. You're in an emergency situation, you flipped your kayak, you're stranded, you can hear people around you, but they can't see you and they're not hearing you, and what are you going to do? Well, there's companies that make mini pop-up flares, alright? These things will save your butt. I've used these for many, many years when I used to use search and rescue. I've recommended these for everybody to have. A flare gun or pop-up flares of some sorts will definitely save your life and let people know. And these are really easy. You just pop the top, you hold it in your hand, and you pull the string, and it shoots flare up in the air, and you got 3 of them to use, and it can save your butt. So flares will come in handy. I always have them. If you can't do those, highway road flares, and we're going to talk about highway road flares. They make a short stick that burns for 15 minutes, and they make a long stick that burns for 30 minutes. A highway road flare can save your butt because that will start any kind of wood. Wet wood, green wood, you name it, a highway road flare will get it going and get it started and have a fire. So whether you're fishing or doing whatever, having a couple highway road flares could be the matter of getting a fire started if you don't have a fire striker and stuff. And they're not super expensive, and they're something great to have. And I used to carry them all the time, and I'm actually out because I messed around and played around with the last ones I have, and I need to pick up some more. But highway road flares, that's just something that when we used to do search and rescue up in the mountains of Wyoming, just tell everybody, just take 2 highway road flares with you, because no matter where you get stuck at out there on your stone or whatever, that will start wood and get you a fire going, and get you a fire going quick. So you're not out there freezing your butt off. And that'll burn hot 30 minutes. And that 30 minutes of burn hotness will get any wood going. So just so you know, it's another recommendation. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to get into talking about light sources. So you're going fishing. You guys are getting out there early in the morning. A lot of guys have the headlamps so they can do hands-free stuff and everything like that. And that's great. You have headlamps, you got your whatever flashlights you're using to take batteries and stuff. What happens when you get to that ramp one day and you haven't replaced your batteries in a while and you've got no light source, or it's late in the evening when you're getting off the water and all of a sudden you need a flashlight and you got no light source? Well, I've got a solution for you, and I got something that works great, and it's something that I love, and I'll show you 2 different kinds that I use. The first one is going to be a little compact light that you can get. Is this bad boy right here. It's got a clip on it, and these are made by Metco. You can get these on Amazon. It's solar powered, so it can charge up solar, and it's also hand crank powered, so you can use a crank. So you take this little crank, you flip it over, you give it a couple cranks like this, and then you got light, and it's a bright light. This light is super bright. It's not some stupid dim thing. It's very, very Very, very bright. So you got solar power and you got a crank power, and it's really well made. It feels very durable. I love the little clip on it because you can clip it on your gear if you want to. It's got this great little clip on it. And this is just a cool little compact thing that's about $7. And for $7, I'll take this all day long. It's a great little light. Like I said, it's super bright. You guys can see how bright that is. I mean, that's crazy bright. Crazy bright. So this is awesome. Solar and hand cranking chargeable. So it'll work for you all the time. I love these things. I have tons of these and they are awesome. But the other one I want to show you guys, and I keep one of those on me all the time too. I have one in my truck. I have one in my pack. Take one with me everywhere I go. The other one I want to show you guys, and this one is super awesome. Probably one of my favorite lights I've ever had for this type of stuff is this light. Alright? It's a little compact light like this. This is hand chargeable. Alright, so you can crank it and charge it. Or it's also USB chargeable right here, so you can just plug it in and charge it if you want to, so you can keep it charged up. But what's awesome about this is it has 2 settings. So you push this little button, you got this little button right here. You push and you got 2 settings on it. So you got 1 setting and then you got 2 settings, which is super bright. So yeah, I know that kind of sucks that I did that, but you got 1 and then 2. And see it. But what's really awesome about this, you got this little clip so you can hang it if you need to hang it. So if you want to have it out of your way, stuff, you can set it down like this if you want it on the boat shining up. But what's really cool is this actually turns into a lantern, where you can open it up like that and turn it on. You get 2 different brightnesses as a lantern. And that is just too cool for me. So this is something you can pull out. You can just set there, put it on your brightness, and you can work on your stuff in the morning, or when you're loading up in the evenings and stuff, you need to see something. Just pop that up. You got a lantern, and there you go. It's a great little light. Works amazingly. I love these things. This one is made by Thorfire. So you guys can see that right there, Thorfire. You can find these on Amazon as well. Just look them up. Look for hand charging lights or hand crankable lights or hand crank camping lights, anything like that, and you'll find them. There's a few different companies make it. I chose the Thorfire. They had really good ratings. But this is something can just drop in a little emergency pack and you got it, or it can be in your truck. And I love these things. I have several of them and they are awesome. Awesome. This is something that you can take along. If you're stranded somewhere, or you're in a situation, this thing is going to work and it's going to keep light. Your batteries aren't going to die. You can leave your light on. As it starts to get dim, you just recharge it. No batteries required. Either one of these lights, no batteries required. So I love these things. They're great, great, great lights, and it's something that can just add to your safety out there on the water, or help you out in the mornings when you're loading your kayaks into the water, or unloading in the evenings when you come off late at night, because Lord knows I've come off the water, it is pitch black out before. I've launched in the morning when it's dark. So love these things. They're awesome. They come in handy. So great, great lights. I just got some new ones. That's why this one is still in a box, because I ordered a few more. I just grabbed this off the counter instead of digging it out of my pack. And it also comes with the little charging cable that you need to plug it into the wall, which is really nice. So, and then one other thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Well, 2 other things actually. 2 other things. One thing you guys should always have is emergency blankets. This is actually a 4-pack that I got from this company. I love these. These are super awesome. It's small and everything. But if you only want to carry one with you and stuff, they come in individually little wrapped packages. And this is just an emergency thermal blanket. And this comes in a pack of 4. It's $20 for a pack of 4. That's a no-brainer to me. It's so compact that I carry all 4 of them. And I keep these in several different things. These are awesome to have, and you can just have a little 4-pack. This goes a little survival kit for you as well. Because the cool thing about it, when you have that many, you can use one to keep you warm, and you can use 1 or 2 to keep you warm if you got a couple guys with you, and then you can use the other ones to create a shelter to get you out of the weather if it's raining or something. So this little 4-pack, I love to death. They're freaking awesome. You definitely should have emergency blankets. And I know they sell the little stupid silver ones at Walmart. These ones are actually silver on one side and camel on the other, which I actually like a little better. And this is a great little 4-pack. You can find these on Amazon as well. Check them out. I forget what company makes these, but there's tons of little ones like this. If you look for that, I'll hold that up there so you guys can see what it says. And look for that emblem and you can find it. And they're awesome. And I love them to death. And then the last thing I guys want to show you, this is something that's awesome. This is another K-Bar product, but I love this thing, and I use it for eating my snacks and stuff when I'm on the water, but it's actually a super cool utensil. K-Bar makes this. I don't know if you guys can see that it says K-Bar on it. Can you see it? It says K-Bar. But K-Bar makes this. This is awesome. Super feels awesome. It's got the spoon and fork in it, but what's really cool is when you pull it apart, you got a little knife as well. So you got fork, spoon, knife right there. This thing is a serrated blade, and it is sharp. It will cut through steak, no problem. Cut through other things, no problem. It's made of some sort of crazy hard, durable plastic type stuff. I don't know what they use to make it, but it's bad. And you've got some utensils, and I use this all the time because I eat stuff on my boat all the time. And this is another thing, super compact, super easy to have. It comes together in one piece, so if you just need this, because I eat Vienna sausages a lot. I love taking Vienna sausages with me when I'm eating, or a can of SpaghettiOs, and I have to take a spoon with me. Well, this right here, I can have the spoon and the knife if there's something I want to cut, whatever. These are awesome. These are like, I don't know, I think they're $6 or $7. You can find them on Amazon all day long. I have tons of them, and it's a great little tool for when you're out there grubbing on your food, when you're out there fishing, and it can come in handy for all kinds of other stuff as well. I'm sure you guys can think of stuff. But anyway, love this thing. This is in every one of my survival gear bags, and I always have them. And I tend to give these away to people as well that are friends of mine that are looking for cool survival stuff. So, that being said, that's a few of the things that I just take with me, that I take when I go fishing and do stuff. You should always have an emergency plan. You should always take the time to tell people where you're fishing, what time you're planning on being there, and what time you're planning on leaving. That way, if you don't show up back where you're supposed to be at, somebody can start looking for you quickly. If people don't know where you're at or what you were doing, then it's going to take an awful lot longer for them to find you. I always do an emergency plan when I go fishing. When I go fishing, even when I pop up and just want to run out and go for a few minutes, whatever, I always call somebody. That somebody would be my girlfriend, and I tell her, I'm going fishing here at such and such. I'm going to be here at this time, and I'm planning on leaving at this time. If I decide I'm going to stay later, I let her know I'm going to stay later. At least I try to. That will come in handy. It's come in handy for me, especially when I had a few incidents. She was already calling around, because I always call her as soon as I get off the water. I usually call her once I've got everything loaded up and I'm sitting in my truck before I pull away, and let her know that I'm leaving and that everything's good. If she doesn't hear from me within a certain frame time, she's on the phone. Alright? She's on the phone calling people saying, hey, have you heard from him? She's on the phone looking for me, and I appreciate that thoroughly. So you really need to make sure that you do that as well. I know sometimes there may not be somebody, but somebody that's close to you, you just need to let them know. Say, hey, look, if you don't have anybody, you're single, whatever, that's fine. My girlfriend lives an hour and a half away and stuff, but she's my emergency contact, and she will get on the phone and have anybody and be over here herself in an instant. So let who you can know, whether it's a friend, somebody, just anybody that you know, just call them up and say, hey, look, I'm going fishing, if you don't hear from me, if I don't call you back and let you know I'm here, then send out the search party. It's not hard to do, and it's definitely going to help you out. Because I'll tell you something else that happened to me. It happened a couple times. I had heat exhaustion a couple times in the summer here in Virginia. I got really hot, and it took a while to cool me down. I was dumping water on me, drinking water, and it's not that I wasn't drinking water. I just wasn't drinking enough water. And before I realized it, I was starting to pass out. And I was fortunate enough that I didn't pass out, but it was sketchy and touch and go for a little bit. 2 different times, 3 different times actually. Now that I think about it, so I don't play around with it anymore. So in the heat of the summer days, I try to fish early in the morning and be off the water by 11. Noon at the latest. I don't even like to stay that long. I like to fish for a couple hours, get done when it's cool, and then go fish in the evenings. I don't stay out there in the heat of the day anymore, because it's wrecked me a few times, and I'm older, and it's not worth the risk. And that's why I talk about having the Life Straw and things like that, so you can get water into your body and do what you need to do to stay alive out there, because you'd be surprised how fast something can creep up on you, and then you're in an emergency situation. It happens fast. And so anyway, there's other things you could do as well, and other things you could plan on. and stuff. I also always have a medical kit, just so you know. I always take medical supplies with me as well. I have a medical kit on my boat, and I take that same medical kit when I go to jump in my kayaks. I just grab it off the boat and I throw it in my kayak. It's about yay big, and I take it with me because you never know. You get cut, hooks. I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen out there. I mean, how many of us got hooks in there? How many of us sliced our hands with our fishing lines or anything? There's so many things that can happen when you're out on the water that being a little prepared can go a long way to help you in the end, especially if you're getting older like I am. I guess we get a little bit more blinder, a little bit more clumsier sometimes, but my balance isn't that great. My equilibrium's off. I've had two traumatic brain injuries that messed up my balance, so I don't have the greatest balance, and that's why you don't see me standing up in kayaks fishing, because my balance is too far off to even try that. Now, I've stood up on them enough to show you guys that you can stand up in them a couple times in my kayaks, but I only did it for a couple minutes and I sat down because I'd end up falling in the water. So if you're ever wondering why I'm never standing up fishing in my kayaks, that's why. I've had two serious head injuries and my balance is all jacked up, and I just don't do that. So anyway, so there you guys go. That's just a quick rundown of a few things that I carry with me when I go fishing. Give you guys some ideas for some things that you may want to think about, just a little bit of an emergency plan type thing and a little bit of emergency gear that you might want to have with you. There's tons of different things you can do. You can do it on a small scale, you can do it on a medium scale, you can do it on a large scale. Being an ex-military guy, I'm very redundant and I like backups for backups, and I like to have, I'm one of those guys that'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it type guys. But I also like to travel light, and I like to take as little gear as I can, so I condense that stuff down. And like I said, I condense it all down into a bag about this big that has enough stuff that I can survive for 3 or 4 days out in a situation, and that's kind of what I condense it down to. You can make it smaller, you can make it larger, it's up to you. I just look at it like, I did it to where I know I can put it on the kayak and it doesn't take up a bunch of weight and room, and it's real easy because just grab a bag and go and throw it in there. I mean, it's real simple. When I unload my kayak off my truck, I just grab that bag and just drop it in the well right there in the front, the sealed hatch, and I'm done. And then when I get off the water, I just pull it out and throw it back in the truck. It's that simple. Everybody can come up with your different plans. This is just some ideas for you guys to think about. Just think about, and think about for your safety, because, how many times have we seen, a guy drown kayak fishing, or this person died, out bass fishing. I mean, there was some young kids that were fishing a tournament a while back that were fishing on a big lake, and something ended up happening, and they ended up going over a fall, and they died. And nobody knows exactly what happened. Don't know if the motor went out, if they're fishing too close to the fall, and then they just all of a sudden got sucked over. But an instant emergency situation. I don't know if anything that I've said would have helped them out that day, but things happen. I mean, look at people that have drowned kayak fishing. They go out kayak fishing for the day, and then all of a sudden they're gone. Being prepared with what's going out there. You guys that fish in the wintertime, that fish in these really cold temperatures, you shouldn't be out there fishing unless you got a sealed clothing on, with a dry suit on. Those of you that are out there fishing in this cold temperatures and you're just wearing normal clothes, you're asking for trouble, because you flip over in that 30-40 degree water and stuff, you're going to have hypothermia in no time, and you will freeze up quick. Your body will just freeze up quick, and you won't be able to move, and then you're done. And so I don't fish in the winter. I don't have sealed clothing. So there's a certain point that I stop fishing in my kayak, and I kind of have this thing that, when the water gets, around, 55 degrees, that 50-55 degree temperature, I stop fishing out of my kayak because I don't want hypothermia. I've seen what hypothermia does. I did search and rescue for 3 years in Wyoming and seen how hypothermia affects people and seen what happens to them, and I've seen them die because of hypothermia, and it is not something to play with. It is not something to play with at all. It is very scary and it happens very fast. So I don't recommend you being out there on the water unless you have the proper equipment and proper clothing to be out there fishing, because you go in that drink and it happens in a second, you're done. And I don't care how much we love the fish. Dying for those fish is not the way to go. I mean, I love fishing and stuff, but I'm not dying just because I want to try to catch a fish. So that's something you guys should keep in mind. I'm safety first, especially if you got families. I got a son, I got a young son, and he counts on me. I'm all he's got. It's me and him. So I don't take those chances. So anyway, that's the video for the day. I hope that helps you guys out. I hope it lets you guys think about some other things besides just your fishing tackle, because we all just grab our rods and go a lot of times. You need to think a little bit more about what you're doing. A little bit of safety will go a long way. Even a little bit of safety gear will help better than having nothing at all. And as long as I've been fishing and doing this, there have been situations where I've actually needed the stuff that I've showed you. So that's why I always have it. You know, I've learned as I've grown, and I've learned a lot of things, and I like better safe than sorry. That's all I can say. So I hope this video helped you. Can't talk. I hope this video helps you guys. I hope it makes you think about some things. I hope it makes you decide to get some gear together. If you have some questions or comments, leave them down below. If you guys have suggestions on other things that you would probably carry, leave that down below. And that's all I got for you guys. So if you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, that ding dong button, and all those things you got to do for YouTube, which helps me out in growing the channel. And then just do yourself a favor. Get out there, get your lines wet, and catch some fish.